comedy na minsan ang strategiya natin nasa tono ng pagpapatawa, nalulusaw yung bigat o layo ng politika. At ingat, sinasabi ko ito para sabihin na shared concern naman ito sa akin.
Naunahan lang ako ni Vlad, pero mabuti na rin at dudugtungan ko. Kasi ang martial law by itself, may narrative contour siya na pwede mong sundan. Bukod dun sa EJK, yung collective grieving, yung mga desaparecidos, yung consumerist lifestyle ng first couple, opulence, jokes, yung makinarya ng think tanks, yung Truth Commission, Senate hearings. So, bakit ko ito binabanggit? Hindi maiwasang magkaroon ng public kind of scene, yung ganitong uri ng narrative mo. Hindi lang siya basta iikot dun sa personal na mundo ni Clara at saka nung kanyang mga kaibigan, o si Clarion. Para ma-elevate mo siya into the national, yung public na eksena ay pinaprime din siya. At gusto ko rin idagdag na ang pagpapatawa ay merong thin line dun sa nakakaiyak na nakakatawa. So, baka pwedeng pasukan mo ng mga eksena na, yung collective grieving na yun, na halimbawa may pinas lang na naman na OFW, binitay, whatever, sa kung saan, or may massive na naman na mga natanggal na mga OFWs, or basta bahala ka nang makaisip niyan dahil lagi namang merong ganyan sa ating balita. Tapos gagawing parang meron na namang magmamarcha dun sa mga kalsada. Tapos ano yung effect dun sa mga tao? Interesado akong malaman kung ano yung effect na nakikita nung camera ng nobela mo. Kasi crucial yung reaction shot ng mga taong yon para ma-drive home yung point na the joke isn't actually only on us, di ba? Mahaba at malawak ang kanyang magnitude, parang bomba, di ba? Na uri ng pasabog. So, kaya kung hindi natin nakikita yung ganong uri ng mga public set scenes, at ito lang yung nakikita natin muna na contour niya, parang may feeling ako noon na pag kami tinatapos kaming play sa telon, tapos kausap namin si Rene Villanueva, tapos sasabihin niya halimbawa sa akin na, alam mo, Luna, yung play mo parang blues ang butas-butas na hindi mo isusuot. So, may ganung quality yung manuskrito in a sense, kasi hindi ko pa nakikita yung actual working out nung public effect or impact ng ganitong uri ng collective trauma, o yung collective forgetting, o yung collective amnesia na magaganap definitely dun sa ano mo. At saka all for it dun sa sinasabi mo dun sa kailangang pumihit na ang narrative somehow dun sa kanyang plot. By the way, dun sa Kundiman Party, yung pagkabasag ng daliri ni Ludwig, nakapagtataka na siya pa yung naging casualty dun sa plot nun, di ba? Samantalang yung lead dapat ang magkakaroon ng siya yung maparurusahan, or siya talaga yung magkakaroon ng siya yung sasalo nung consequence. So, baka pwede mo ring pag-isipan yon na kung sakaling may kailangang parusahan o may kailangang magkaroon ng consequence dun sa nobela mo, hindi dapat yung mga minor o yung mga nasa peripheral lang na mga characters, kundi yung nagsasalita mismo dun sa work.
So, sagot mo rin sa akin, sa dami ng mga point. Sagot mo sila sa mga batch mo, tapos sa Charleston, si Neil, si Butch, si Francis, tapos si
So siguro, kung tayo kung sagutin yung kaya kong sagutin sa ngayon. Pero, na-take in ko naman lahat ng suggestions. No? That, I'm very grateful. siguro start tayo kay Ana kasi siya yung maraming tanong.
Pwede ba natin pag-usapan na lang yun?
Pwede na yun.
Oo,
Okay.
iba na lang.
Siguro yung first na i-address ko yung comment yun both ni Roland yun, about the traffic situation. Thank you for pointing that out. That's a blind spot. So I'll address that. Yung about Marikina being complicit to the martial law era, yes, I'll address that. Meron din about the Shoe Museum, which if you've been there, is ahistorical. There's nothing, it's just really a display of shoes. Project nandito kayo. Pwede rin ito. Anyway, so nasama siya doon. Is it realist? It's magic realism. Yun yung naiisip kong marvelous realism, sabi nga ni Mang Jean. So okay, yung sustainability, ako rin nag-wonder kung masusustain ko tong energy ng chapter 1. So, tignan na lang, lakas naman ang aking belief sa sarili. Doon na lang tayo mag-hinge. Yung tanong ni Ana na pwede mag-isulat ko muna, yun naman ang tanong ko. Isusulat ko muna, tipigilan ko na yung pagtuteorya. Are you character-driven kung magsulat? Hindi ko alam. Hindi ko siya iniisip. Basta kung ano yung bumuluwak, ganun ang nangyayari. Salamat kay Vlad sa mga regalo. Gandang mga images yung nakikita ko. And also for acknowledging that this is a female kind of humor. Yun na yung plano ko. Yung abrupt taxis discussion, na medyo na heavy-handed din ako nung binasa ko ulit. So, i-revise ko din siya. Saan ko ipapasok yung urgency? Siguro itutuo ko siya kay Mang Luna, yung collective grieving. Meron namang mangyayari. Actually, nagtateorya na rin nabilit ako. Yung ending nito is actually based on my readings on, so yung mga works ng sociologists about collective trauma, kay Erikson, and then there's also Jeffrey Alexander. And yung sa kay Erikson, parang, that school of thought is, for trauma to be healed, a collective trauma to be healed, there has to be a public kind of grieving. There has to be a narration of these moments that cause collective trauma. Pero namang isa, si Alexander's school of thought, he sees collective trauma as a construct that it is decided upon by the majority. So, titignan ko rin siya as how to, I'm still exploring how, maybe that's the answer, one of the ways we could answer why nowadays it's no longer becoming a collective trauma. Because it's that coming from that idea that it is a constructed reality.
Parang naging chosen from it.
So, si Charles.
Ang naririnig, yung tone kasi dito, yung agitated eh. Agitation. And hindi nga Stephen Colbert eh. Si Joe Colbert. It's more like this guy, si Joe Black. Yung parang siya, lagi siya nanginginig. Jack Black, na parang is so agitated na you'll kill over sobra sa kape. And that's, yun ang naririnig ko. Kaya nga yung sustain. Now, kasi yung form ng stand-up comedy is oral eh. So you have to comment on 5 things in 5 minutes. So here, ang dami mong komentary na. From Pandoy, you move to traffic, and then Jesus Christ, and then DH. So ang dami mo ng commentary within one chapter, no? But since I'm formal naman, I know that you might, pwede mo i-relax. You don't have to say so much. You don't have to cram so much commentary into this space. Kasi nga, yung sustainability. And then, also the reader. Pwede ma-overwhelm dun sa information na binibigay mo na at some point, hindi naman relevant pa. dun sa longer design. So, pwede mo tingnan yung design mo, finally where it's going. And maybe manage the tone na hindi ganun kailangan ka-agitated all the time. Kasi it's sustainable not only for you as a writer, but for the reader. Diba? Kasi short form ang stand-up comedy, diba? But you're working on a longer form.
Tama naman si Sir. Hindi siya masusustain ng ganong energy. At hindi ko naman plano rin ganon din lahat. So meron siyang
Ups and downs.
My voice is different, so I'm not entirely myself. Channeling another person right now. I enjoyed it. It's quite fun to read, and it's a revelation. Sarah, you've been with the department for a couple of years, but I don't know why. Probably because of the press, I've been teaching undergraduate students, no PhD. I didn't learn or know about you until now. No, I'm reading the book. It's quite amazing that we have a Sarah in the department right now. I think you cannot help but be theoretical because that's sort of required of us in the department, even if we're in the certificate program. We have to traffic in literary theories and ideas, and I don't think there's a huge contradiction between poetics and your excerpt here, and from what I've been hearing, your intention for the novel. I'm interested in two things. The first one is the question of the narrator. The narrator is an I. When she says, let's backtrack a bit, Shelby. That's the narrator actually coming to the fore and revealing herself as a character. I'm saying herself because it's, for me, probably a woman's novel in that sense. No? I'm intrigued by what might happen later on. Will the narrator actually have her own story? Will the narrator actually have a larger part to play? Because she's just telling the story of Clara now. Maybe she'll have another kind of role later on. That brings to mind another literary term, and please don't hate me for bringing in more theory. No? Metafiction ang konti siya. Kasi lumalabas yung narrator, at pwedeng ang lumabas is kinokontrol na yung kwento in a more sort of obtrusive fashion, which is what metafiction is. No? When the narrator actually is, in fact, the character, right? The character, the one who's controlling everything, is a character, sorry. And in that sense, the second concern I have has to do with the aesthetics, the perspective that you've taken. We've heard of the word literary satire, the absurd, realism, magic realism, but I think the operative aesthetic style is camp. It's quite a campy text, in the sense that you're playing with surface. Sorry to bring it up, but you know, Vlad opened the door when he brought up the LGBTQ marching, Marikina. It's very bakla in a manner of speaking, and it's such a bakla story so far. The problem is that you're bringing into this, listen please, mahirap kung bakla, kung camp siya, meron kang national allegory, martial law, trauma, and all of that, which is very heavy base, no? How do you actually reconcile that with camp, which tends to be just surface? And so far, surface siya, kahit na may namatay na bocho, may mga ganun na, wala talaga moment of depth. Masyado pa. No? How will you wrap it up? I just started talking. Vlad talked on and on and on. I wanted to stop it. My voice is so bad, sorry. I sound like a tiger. Okay. How will you handle the burden of allegory given the camp aesthetic style that's more or less operative in the text? And my suggestion for you is to immerse yourself more in bakla material. And how bakla material so far has handled it. Are you familiar with Joshua Suborna? You've read the comic. You've seen the productions. Yes, you've seen the film. Kasi yun talagang transmedia yun, no? it's super camp, right? You know, like there's a super, you know, the super heroine is a mathematician who gets bopped on the head by this huge stone coming from outer space. Tapos yung kalaban niya are aliens who talk only in English. And siya, yung jolog siya, hindi siya maka-English masyado. Tapos, national allegory siya, may moment siya na magiging serious, no? Which might be, probably, it's what constitutes our own kind of, we can't call it postmodern, we call it post-colonial, sort of parodic aesthetics, no? Which is we cannot just be surface because we are confronting very real, very heavy problems, no? So the approach is light, surface, but there's depth. And probably because Josh Saturn has succeeded so well, particularly its musical incarnation. Maybe you could use may musical moment, interlude, ganyan. Maybe that I finally reveals herself in one moment as a drag queen or something like that. Maybe that will be fun, right? Basta I'm cheering you on because I think this is very entirely promising and I've had so much fun reading it. The trauma thing, I think, is our concession to maybe literary studies. Kailangan lagyan na serious term like trauma. Pero actually, you're trying to make sense of our reality and the approach is camp. It's probably the best approach to take because it's the only way to survive in this country. Like, you can't be too serious, but you have to be serious now and then. But it was brought up, urgency, ganyan, different terms for the same thing, really, which is the moment of depth we're looking for.
I know we're running out of time.
Oh, no, sorry.
Papayag si Butch na hindi
But
magsalita.
congratulations sa Sarah.
Papayag si Sir Butch na hindi magsalita.
Very short.
Very insistent on this.
Just a very short note. To end on a serious note, actually. When I reflect on martial law, one of the things about it that keeps recurring to me is the issue of complicity, which I hope will emerge here. Martial law would not have lasted that long if most Filipinos did not, in some form, support it, even by doing or saying nothing. And that's also part of what's going on today. I often say even during martial law, we were always in the minority. Pag natin kalimutan yun, that those who were aware and fought it were in the minority and continue to be so today. No, kaya sana yung aspekto na yun ay in a comic way, lumitaw dyan na when you look around, a lot of people around you seem to be supportive of what's going on, and that's intrinsically part of the problem, and that's why revisionism flourishes.
Sorry, Francis, saka Don, kasi nabusan tayong oras. Let's give the last 30 seconds to Sarah, the revelation.
Thank you. Ano ba yung 30 seconds ko? Sir, yes. The answer is yes, complicity. And then, actually, I'm glad you brought up Cam, because if I think about the novel, if I picture it, it's really Ethel Buba meets RuPaul meets Miriam Margolyes. So ganun nga yung dating. Thank you so much.
Yes.